Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel Rose. I'm the Director of the Undergraduate Social Work Program, and this is advising for the spring semester 2024. So we're in the fall semester 2023, and this video is specifically for freshmen and sophomores. I'm going to try to keep it short. I have a tendency to be kind of verbose and long-winded in these videos. I want to try to keep it a little bit shorter this time. I will try my best. There are other videos that are uploaded to the Canvas page that are a little bit lengthier. Part of the reason that these videos have a tendency to be long is because I've been doing this for a very long time, and I am calculating all the different scenarios and questions in my head that I often get from students. And so I'm trying to answer all those questions as much as I can in these videos. So I know that they are like, oh, they're kind of long, but if it needs students to really kind of pay attention, there's nuances and small details in these videos that I'm trying to cover. And of course, I will not be able to cover everything. You need to really kind of pay attention to the curriculum and to the program of the university and the expectations of what you need to do as a student. So I'm going to start right in with, let's see if I can do it here, the PowerPoint. We're going to walk you through some things here. Okay, so fall advising. So what do I need to know and how do I get into my classes? So the first thing that I tell students is that you must take responsibility for your education. What that means is, I know it's a complex system, but you have to learn all the nuances, especially in social work. It is a professional degree. Our classes are only offered at specific times. You can't jumble them around. If you miss a class, it has the potential to put you behind an entire year. So you have to pay attention to these things. You need to show up for advising. You need to check in with your degree works and all these other things, which I'll cover. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it is your responsibility to take control of your education, because this is the education that you're going to use when you move forward, going into graduate programs or working in the field of social work, which can be a very complex field, working with a lot of difficult systems. So you need to really learn the system. You need 120 hours to graduate. This is the joke that I make in classes and working with students, because students will hear me say this over and over and over again. And invariably, what will happen is a student will come up their final year, especially their final semester, and they will be short that 120 hours. And I'm generally unsympathetic for that, because I have said it over and over again. You need 120 hours to graduate. It is not that difficult to calculate. It is simple mathematics. If you come in as a freshman, you have no credit hours whatsoever. You have to take at least 15 credit hours each semester over the 4-year period to equal 120 credit hours. So if you take 15 semester hours each semester, that's 8 semesters, 4 years, you will have 120 credit hours. If you're not taking 15 semester hours, then you potentially could be short a number of hours to graduate. And so what that means is you also need to learn degree works. And I have another video posted, and I'll also repeat this over and over and over again. Degree works is the degree evaluation that you need to learn. You must learn it, because that's the system that lets you know where your standing is, what your grade point average is, how many credit hours you've completed, how many credit hours you need. It also is the place that has your final grade. This has come up a couple of times. Canvas is the learning platform that we use to assist us in teaching classes. DegreeWorks is your degree transcript. It is the system that you use to see your final grades. I don't know if the midterm grades are in there, but your final grades, what you've got required, the courses that are required, it's all in there in DegreeWorks. It can be a little glitchy, because what will happen is you'll see it, and I have the DegreeWorks video. I need you to check it, but there'll be little boxes next to the required courses, and there's little places there where check marks when you completed the courses. And often students will say, oh, I've completed all my courses. There are all these check marks. You still need 15 hours of electives, 15 hours of electives of any courses that you're interested in, or courses that you just need to think about, that you want to learn stuff in. It's college. The expectation in college is that you take time to learn a lot of these things and enjoy courses that you're taking. And so 15 credit hours are electives, which means anything that you're interested in. So just be aware, you need 120 hours to graduate, and you need to learn your degree works. students will come in and have me kind of help calculate those hours. I don't like to do that. I am looking at degree works with students every day, and I'm looking at multiple degree works. So guess what? I will miss things. You have access to degree works 24/7. You can get on there at 3 o'clock in the morning. You can look at it. And so you have access to it, and you're able to see things that sometimes I'll miss because I'm looking at multiple degree works every day. So you need to learn degree works, and you need to keep up with the number of credit hours to graduate. And this help each other. So, you also have to take responsibility of your education. But one of the things that I'm really recognizing is that our students are not communicating with each other the way that they should. And one of the reasons we have the advising sessions as a group is because students will come up to me and they'll say, well, what's an easy class? And of course, as a professor, just to let you all know, that's not a really good question to ask us. It's kind of insulting. Most of us have spent our lives dedicated to education. For those of us who are social work professors, we've spent our lives dedicated to social work and education. And so when students say, what's an easy course? To us, education is about learning, growth, and transformation, not about what's easy. And I don't know, I don't take courses with these professors, so I don't know how their courses are, but you do take courses with these professors. And so when we have the group sessions, I really would like the group advising sessions. I would really like students to come in prepared to communicate to each other, not just have questions for me, but to communicate with each other like, hey, I took political science with this professor and I really enjoyed it. I learned from it and I really felt like I got a lot out of it, as opposed to maybe this professor. Or I took a history class and this met one of the MAC or the general education courses, and I think it was a really good course and it's really helpful for us. So maybe you should take this. My goal, as you'll see here, is to maybe set up a discussion board on our social work Canvas page, because there is a module under there on advising. And so what I would like to do is maybe set up a discussion page where students can share information about courses that they have taken, especially general education courses. Say, hey, I took it with so-and-so and this really helped me. Or maybe a student can ask a question like, I'm really struggling to find a course to meet this requirement. Does anybody have any suggestions? And I think that will help each other out. And, you need to really think of yourselves as a community of learners. And this is one of the reasons why I started the Canvas page, is so that you're able to communicate to each other a little bit more efficiently and really kind of get an idea of what is it that you want to take, what is it that you've taken, and what are some courses that you think other students could take that would be really helpful for them. So I would strongly encourage you to utilize that Canvas page, and I'll try to get that link set up there, that discussion board, pretty soon. So for freshmen and sophomores, this is what this video is focused on. You need to continue to focus on your general education courses. You need to have them completed before you enter your field placement your senior year. This is a little glitchy. Students will ask me this question often. Not before you apply to the major, not before the end of the spring semester junior year. We really want you to have those courses done before you enter field. So what that means is that summer before your senior year, you can be taking courses. Now, if you're missing 1 or 2 courses, generally we will work with you, like 1 or 2 general education courses. If you're missing a whole lot of them, then that will keep you from moving forward in field, because then what you're trying to do is you're trying to cram in all these general education courses, do your internship, do your social work courses, and you're just not going to be able to get it done, and it's going to really hurt you that last year. So we really do expect you to have all those general education courses done before the beginning of the fall semester of your senior year, not applying to the major, not the end of the spring semester junior year, but the beginning of the fall semester. If you're shy a couple of those courses, we'll work with you. You'll need to reach out to Professor Green to talk to him about that. Sophomores, you'll need to take Social Work 215, Introduction to Social Work, sometimes your sophomore year. So that means freshman is like 0 to 30 credit hours. Sophomore is usually 30 to 60 credit hours. So if you are in your sophomore year and you have not taken Social Work 215, this is fall semester, then you must be in that class in the spring semester. Now, you can take it over the summer. We will offer an option over the summer, but that's really kind of pushing it. You have to have Social Work 215 completed before you can start the fall sequence of your junior year, which is 310, 311, and 315, which are only offered in the fall semester. So if you have over 30 credit hours, you really need, if you're not in Social Work 215 right now, you need to be in Social Work 215 in the spring. And if it's full, you need to let us know so we can get you in that course. Overrides. This is another question that comes up. I can do overrides to get students into social work classes. I cannot do overrides to get you in other classes and other programs or departments. Students will inundate me with emails because they're trying to get in a history class or philosophy class or sociology class. I have no control over that. I am the undergraduate director of the social work program, and that is all the authority that I have to do. If a class is full in a philosophy program or in another program, human development, family studies, you must reach out to that program. Don't email me and ask me about trying to get you in classes and other programs. I cannot do that. That is something you have to check with the program. You have to check with the undergraduate director or the department chair in the other program. I can do overrides to get you in social work classes, but I cannot do override to get you in classes and other programs. The general education requirements, which is called the MAC, Minerva Academic Curriculum. Once again, I'm going to refer you back to DegreeWorks. The top part of DegreeWorks is the Minerva Academic Curriculum. The bottom part of the DegreeWorks is the social work curriculum. If you have transferred in with an Associates of Arts degree, it is most likely that you're not going to see these MAC requirements because of the articulation agreement. What happens is if you have an associate's degree, you won't even see that. You'll just see the social work requirements. So don't worry about that. You have an associate's arts degree and the Minerva academic curriculum is not showing up on your DegreeWorks. That means you've met those requirements. So just to let you know, we do not know when your registration window opens up. Once again, this is the question I get often from a lot of students. You will need to log into UNC Genie, go to registration, and check when your particular registration window opens up. This should also probably be in Schedule Hero for when your registration window opens up. I do not know when your particular registration window opens up. What's coming up now is advising. That's it. It's not registration, it's advising. So what's happening October 11th, 12th, and 13th is advising, not registration. And you must go into either UNC Genie or Schedule Hero to find your particular registration window and when it opens up. Summer registration will open up sometime in the beginning of the spring semester. I'm not sure of the date. Historically, the summer registration opened up at the same time that the fall registration opened up for spring courses. They've changed that. So they'll let us know sometime at the beginning of spring semester. So what that means is you need to keep your advising code. The advising code for the summer registration is the same for the spring registration. So if you decide you want to take courses over the summer, it's going to be the same advising code that you need for your spring semester. And just as a reminder, you get a new advising code every semester. So the advising code that you received last spring for fall is not going to work for the spring semester. That's why you need to show up for advising, because you need to get your updated advising code. Winter session courses will be opening up. Usually if you Google, and if I am able to find that link, I'll try to get it sent out to you. If you're able to Google UNCG winter courses, you should be able to see the winter courses. These are online courses that are offered over the winter session. It's a really good way to get caught up with credit hours if you're behind credit hours, and most of the winter session courses meet those general education course requirements or the MAC requirements. So just to remind everyone that like I said, the courses under the Minerva academic curriculum, those are set by the university. I have no control over those courses. The university has a curriculum committee, and they work assiduously to create this curriculum. It is the liberal arts general education curriculum that every student needs to meet to graduate. That means that you need science courses and math courses. So if you transferred in with an Associates of Arts degree, the university has articulation agreements with community colleges that state you've met all the general education courses. If you transfer in from a community college without an associate's degree or an associate's of applied science, like in human services, then you will still need to meet general education course requirements. Math, science, biology, these are university required courses. The one course that will get students kind of caught up a little bit is the math course, which is quantitative reasoning under the Minerva academic curriculum. So quantitative reasoning is just a fancy term for math. What that means is the social work department requires a data analysis course, not to be confused with the science and data analysis course in the Minerva academic curriculum, but a data analysis course or a stats class. Students can take Statistics 108, and that will meet the university's math requirement, the quantitative reasoning, and the social work requirement for data analysis or stats. If for whatever reason you do not feel comfortable taking stats, and from my understanding, the university has set up a pre-qualifying test for stats. I don't know if they've done it yet, but so what that means is that you take a pre-qualifying test. If you don't make above a 70, then you'll have to take a lab with that stats course. And so if you are uncomfortable with the thought of taking Stats 108, then you can take social work. It's actually 350. I have it down here as 250. I need to update this. It's social work 350, data analysis. And you need to take a math course, which means you will need to take math, preferably math 112. Math 112 is topics of math. It is a math designed for liberal arts students. I have to tell students this over and over again. It is a math course. It is the least challenging of all the math courses. College algebra, calculus, statistics, those are more complex math courses. Math 112 is the least challenging. It's not an easy course. Students will come up to me and like, well, you said this was an easy course. I never said Math 112 was an easy course. I never said math was an easy course. Math 112 is designed for students who are a little bit more math phobic and feel like they want to take a course that is more manageable than something like statistics or college algebra. So just to let you know, if you decide I don't want to take Stats 108, you do not have to take Stats 108. If you take Stats 108, that will meet the math requirement for the university and the requirement for the social work stats or data analysis course. If you decide you do not want to take Stats 108, that means you will need to take two courses. I would suggest you take Math 112, topics of math, and social work 350, which is our data analysis course. So the cultural and diversity electives are listed below the social work required courses. So when you're looking at degree works and you see social work required courses, and then you'll see like psychology, sociology, political science, American politics, those are what are called cognate courses, courses specific or area requirements specific for social work majors. And then we have cultural and diversity elective courses. You can take two courses in the foreign language at the elementary level, which is usually Spanish 101, 102, or you can take two courses in the list of cultural and diversity electives. I will work with students. If you transferred in from community college and you've only taken one semester of Spanish and it has it listed, the university will default in wanting you to take Spanish 102. We're not going to force you to do that. I just need to do a curriculum modification. You just need to meet with me, and then we can look at doing some updates and have you take a cultural and diversity elective course in its place. ASL, American Sign Language, counts towards the cultural diversity elective requirements. That list is not extensive. We need to update that list. Part of what we have to do is we have to go through the curriculum committee to update that list. That takes over a year. Nothing happens quickly. So what I would encourage students to do is look at courses, especially courses in women and gender studies, African-American, African diaspora studies. Courses in these programs are going to meet those requirements of cultural diversity electives. So if you see a course that you're interested in and it's not listed among the courses in the cultural and diversity elective requirements, then just come to me and we will look at having that course count towards a cultural and diversity elective. I just have to do a curriculum modification to have that course count, okay? So grade replacement. So what happens, of course, is we all make mistakes at universities and colleges. We take a course, it impacts our GPA, and then we have to determine what we're going to do from here, because you have to have a 2.5 GPA to advance in the major, 2.5 overall GPA. So from my understanding, and this has probably been updated since this, but from my understanding, you can get up to 3 grade replacements. What that means is if you take a course like American politics and you tank it, you make a D or an F in it, you can retake that course. It has to be the same course. It does not have to be with the same professor. So if you do not do well in American politics, if you retake that course and make a higher grade, this doesn't happen automatically. You have to go to the student first office. There's a form that you fill out online. It's after the grade is updated for the second time you've taken the class. You fill out that form, they do an evaluation, and then they will replace the higher grade for the lower grade. Now, that lower grade is always on your degree works. It's always on your transcripts. It's there. It's just not calculated in your GPA. This is important. This is part of the reason I talk about having to pay attention to this stuff. So if you take a class like biology, made an F in it, you can retake that biology course, has to be the same course, does not have to be the same professor. And once you complete the second time and the grade has been submitted, then you must check in with student first and fill out the grade replacement form. It doesn't happen automatically. Students will retake it and they think, oh, I'm done. I don't have to worry about it. That's not true. You have to fill out that form. It has to be evaluated by the student first office, and then they will replace the higher grade for the lower grade. Grade replacements are one of the best ways to bring your GPA up, especially for transfer students, because your GPA starts the minute you start the university. So I've had students who are getting ready to apply to the major, their GPA is below the 2.5. That one or two courses that are D or F are really pulling that GPA down. They do the grade replacement and their grade point averages go right back up to where it should be. So if you're struggling in a course or you have tanked a course, come talk to me. We'll look at it, we'll strategize, we'll refer you to student first office, and they'll work with you on bringing that grade point average back up. Minors. So this is the question I often get with students because, like I said, you have to have 15 hours of electives, and a lot of our students are really struggling like, well, I'd really like to have a little bit more guidance than that. Minors are great. I'm always encouraging students to look at peace and conflict studies. We work with them closely. I've been working with professors in peace and conflict studies for, especially their department chair, for over 10 years. They have courses in interpersonal conflict, conflict in workplace, global peace building. So we work really closely, and you can also work on a simultaneous degree or double major between us and peace and conflict studies. It's a really good major, and it's a really great major for social work students because they really can kind of fill in some of the gaps of stuff that we just can't cover in our social work curriculum. And so I would look at peace and conflict studies as a minor. If you're interested in working with families and children, human development family studies is a great minor. We have a lot of students who do their minor in human development family studies, and they really enjoy it. If you're interested in working with aging populations, we have a minor in gerontology. I also encourage students to look at minors like women, gender, sexuality studies, African American, African diaspora studies. Those two minors especially are really good minors in working with diverse populations, which is what a lot of us do. In social work, anthropology, communication studies, history, philosophy, religion, you name it. There's a minor for almost anything at the university, and you can do two minors. If you've got the time, you got the energy, the resources, you decide you want to do two minors. I did two minors when I was an undergraduate student. Minors are a really good way to kind of fill in those gaps, and sometimes some of those required courses for the general education courses will meet the minor requirements. And I'll work with you with minors to help you complete them, because you have to have two upper level electives in social work. And so if you are working towards that minor and you're taking some of those courses, I will look at counting them towards those upper level electives in social work. So minors are really good courses. Email etiquette. So, I'm getting to the point where I think all of us are just saturated with email. I think email has gone beyond the point of where it serves. I, of course, am sending emails out to you all the time. It's really important that you check them. There's vital information in there. I'm getting emails constantly. I think we've just reached a saturation point with emails, but I really want to reinforce email etiquette for you all, because even though we get saturated with emails and overwhelmed with emails is still the primary way that we communicate with each other. I want students to get in the habit of understanding this is a professional degree, and that, for those of you who are getting ready to prepare for field, you can be emailing supervisors, potential supervisors, because you'll be setting up time to meet with the field agencies you're going to be working with as you go from your junior to senior year. And so you really want to make sure that your emails are constructed professionally. I do this check 3 before me, because often what will happen with students is I'll get an email. I need this information. I don't know what. And then like 5 minutes later, I'll get an email from like, oh, never mind, I figured it out. And so most everything can be Googled and you can figure it out. And plus talk to each other. Ask each other, because, you know, we have over 300 students in the program. I'm the program director. We're down faculty right now. And so I'm kind of the primary point person. So I'm getting all these emails from students with questions on top of emails from faculties and committees I'm on. I would encourage you to be very specific in your emails. Often students will ask me very kind of vague emails like, I'm having a problem in this class. Can you help me? What class are you talking about? I don't even know what you mean. So, you know, just be really specific and clear in email what you're asking for me. It's helpful if you put your UNCG ID number in there. My strong suggestion is that you do not put your UNCG ID number in your signature, but you do try to remember to add it. And if you forget, don't worry about it. I'll just ask you for it. But try to add it in the email. The reason I would discourage you to put it in your signature is because it is a sensitive number. And for most of us, you can log into your UNC Genie with your 8-digit ID number, and it's your 6-digit birth date as your PIN code to log in. So it wouldn't be really challenging if you're emailing this number out to a lot of people for people to kind of, because everything's on the internet now, figure out what your birth date is, and to actually log into your UNC Genie, where you have a lot of very sensitive information in there. And so I would not put that in your signature, but just try to remember to email me your student ID number. And I think that's it. I'm going to kind of keep it at that. Just remember, we have advising, and I will not have virtual office hours after advising. So if you don't make it to the advising sessions, 11th, 12th, or 13th, then you're going to have to come to the office in person to meet with me. And it's a lot more helpful for you to come to the advising sessions, because not only is the opportunity for me to pass on information to you, it's where you get your advising code, but it's where you also will be able to communicate with each other about courses that you need. Hope everybody has a great rest of the semester. Look forward to seeing you all during advising. This video will be posted on the Canvas page. You can look at it anytime. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I will talk to everyone soon. Thank you so much.